One of the things that I've always said is that the left and the establishment globalists, they hate the body. They hate human bodies. They cannot stand the way God made us. They can't stand it. And so they love to worship desire. But if we understand anthropology, we know that the desires of our heart don't come from us. They come from outside of us. We catch desires. We want to keep up with the Joneses. We want to imitate others. We want to compete with others. And people around us, their role modeling is what influences what we want. That's totally anathema to the left that likes to make sure that you always are enslaved to the supposed desires that supposedly came from your heart. In reality, they didn't. They're a product of people around you. As someone online named David M. said, maybe the most revealing part of What is a Woman, which is the new documentary by Matt Walsh at the Daily Wire, maybe the most revealing part is when Matt Walsh correctly points out to the creepy gender pediatrician that Lepron is the same drug used to chemically castrate sex offenders. She shuts down and accuses him of using hurtful language. That is the moral universe of gender ideology. Extreme sensitivity to language, extreme recklessness with people's bodies. The word castration is offensive. Actual castration of children is wholesome and good. And he points out something that I've been talking about for some time. Another commenter said one of the emerging issues with puberty suppression of these children is that since they don't develop normal genitalia for their birth gender, the bottom surgery when they are adults is much more difficult and they are anorgasmic for life. I mean, this is disgusting stuff that's being done to people who they're too little to know the difference and they're being shoved off of a cliff. To put it mildly, in terms of their life. Doing things that you learn, and people think, it's my true gender to be a cat. There's stupid people that think it's okay to be a cat right now, okay? Now, I don't want to say stupid. We got to be nice. But that's mentally insane, okay? Let's just put it what it is. People have lost their mind en masse. They've lost their mind together. This isn't new. People have lost their mind for Tulip Mania. They've had hysterias and manias all the time. Societies knew this. That's why they always put in the past, before Christianity, certain protections against signs of undifferentiation to kind of keep that kind of chaotic losing oneself contained. But we're in a state where we've now sacralized chaos. We have consecrated chaos. We've consecrated undifferentiation because people want to be completely consumed and owned by the desires that have been implanted to them by those around them. And the TV and people who, think about how useful that is for people who are Malthusians, who hate the idea of human population continuing to grow. They've convinced a whole generation of people that because of their actions, the planet's going to blow up any minute now. It should have been blown up 10 years ago because of climate change? These dumb Luddites, they don't know. They don't just go with one hysteria gimmick after the other. They see a TV ad, it emotionally manipulates them, and bam, they're on to the new hysteria. And then, remember 10 years ago, nobody was talking about, I identify as a cat, I identify as this or that. It's because this is something that had been cooking up in academia. Nobody cared about it. It was in the fringes of society, in academic fringes, postmodern theory, right? A lot of these people got their backing from intelligence groups and the original origins of these things. Go look this stuff up. So next time you think you've found your true sense of self because you identify as a cat and you need a litter box for your college class, maybe, just maybe, while you're sitting in that litter box, meowing away, thinking you found your true self, maybe just Google the CIA origins behind some of the thinkers that got you in the damn litter box, okay? How about do that next time before you utterly wreck yourself and everybody else around you, because that's the real issue here. The whole idea about you must accept that me identifying as a cat is normal or else I will blow up the world until you do. That is the madness of this age that will be defeated by its own overreach. We don't compete with it. We let the crazy fall in on its own self, okay? When people are power mad and they're fighting against God, when they're fighting against nature, you don't try to compete with it. That only gives it more life. You let it fall on its own weight. Okay? So these people, the only thing we're going to have to really push back with is you're not going to mess with kids. You're going to get the hell away from kids. You're not pushing your dumb French postmodern psychopath experimentation with people's bodies and hormones that can cause cancer. We've talked about all these hormonal things that are happening with seed oils. What are you doing when you're putting these drugs that chemically castrate into children? But these people care more about words than they do the reality of the body. Jesus Christ saves the body and the soul. These people hate the body. They want to denigrate the body. They want to crucify the body for the God of their illusory desires. And that's very convenient for globalists that want to convince people to stop breeding, to stop having joy, to stop having real life, to spend your entire life on the internet, watching Netflix, playing video games, never accomplishing anything but being a useless consumer, a mindless consumer. That's what globalists want because they hate God. They want to be God. They hate God. They want to be God. They tell you there is no God, but they hate him. That lets you know they protest too much. The tell is that they want to be God. They're jealous of God. They'll never be God. Jesus is king. They've been defeated the moment they start to rebel against the gospel revelation that Jesus Christ stands for every child who is being hurt right now, every child who is being confused right now, every child who's being put in a sex bar with disgusting, foolish adults to introduce them to a life of misery, that contagious misery. Jesus stands in solidarity with these children, and no stupid fly-by-night little fad ideology from a dying empire will touch the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven will inherit the earth, and the dying grasp of a failed ideology, a failed empire with a body count too many to count, of trying to impose its revolutionary revolt against nature around the globe by force, would just be another thing in the wind, blowing away, dust in the wind, because Jesus is king. DC's not. Hollywood's not. These losers lost. They haven't got the memo yet. And we are going to ignore their stupid, clownish ways. We're going to protect the innocent, and we're going to build a civilization that will be so much better than anything they could ever dream of.